Hey guys, Tyler here. Hey guys, Tyler here. We're gonna have some fun right now, and that's about it. Hey guys, everyone is.
$72 ounces? I thought this was supposed to be a steakhouse.
Well, there is one steak that's only available by special request, and it's the size of a boogie board.
Ooh, I'll have that one.
Take my advice. This one's not for greenhorns.
Greenhorn? Oh, you're just jealous because you don't have the belly for it anymore, Mr. No Belly.
Well,
Hey guys, Tyler here. Just relaxing. We're gonna be on for a smidge, then we're gonna do some other stuff. You gotta redo the whole other thing, don't you? I'm gonna do some work for you guys later, but yeah, guys, in about we're on about a couple in under an hour. We got this thing to do in under an hour, but right now we're just killing time right now before I have to reset this so I can do it. Okay, I gotta do that tonight. So after watching The Amazing Digital Circus, we got some stuff to do. So I'll do it now so I don't have to worry about it. I'll do it now so I don't have to worry about it. Tommy Fassetti, show shit. Let him out. He gets his pants down. Keep him. Get. Make it. Maybe you should do that. People see him wanking down the street. I got an idea. Me too. Well, at least we'll take it out here. Yeah. Do it last time. Hey guys, Tyler here. Just doing a little bit of work.
Let's max out GTA 4 with full path tracing, remastered textures, real vehicles, some new activities, quality of life features, and a whole lot more. This video contains a highly unrealistic amount of rain and wet roads. Viewer discretion is advised if you are allergic to seeing too many puddles in GTA graphics showcases. First up is the RTX Remix Compatibility Mod. It's a mod that allows the game to be remastered with NVIDIA's RTX Remix, a platform that lets you add full path tracing and advanced materials to classic games. GTA 4 still runs on DirectX 9, so it's actually the last GTA game we're able to use Remix on, and Xoxor 4D did incredible work over the past few months doing absolutely everything to improve the game. It comes with a few enhanced assets, like the Broker Safe House, which got all of its walls, floors, and light sources remade from scratch. And then there's Auto PBR, which automatically generates, configures, and applies PBR material textures to all the models around the map. It's most noticeable at night when vehicle lights show the depth of materials that were completely flat before, and in interiors where it adds reflections to the floors and walls, making everything much more realistic. During the daytime, the biggest difference is visible on the buildings, especially all the glass skyscrapers, which now actually have realistic reflective materials. The mod also comes with raindrops on vehicles and character clothing, which is yet another thing never done to GTA 4 before. All game lights, including the sun, are translated to remix lights, so they'll realistically bounce off objects all around with ray tracing. But honestly, the biggest difference is visible on our beloved rain. That's where Star Junction starts to show its real beauty, and it gets that amazing cyberpunkish vibe. It doesn't stop there though.
Tonight, I got stuff to do tonight.
Look, rinse, repeat. It never feels like enough. It's not your products. It's your life.
After the monumental success of Grand Theft Auto 3 and the relative success of my video on it, and the upcoming GTA 6 set to release in what looks like a similar setting, it's now time to take a step further into the Rockstar 3D universe by flying down south and visiting Vice City. Vice City is more unhinged than Liberty City in nearly every way. It's a place where chicks in bikinis on rollerblades will not hesitate to fistfight a man running with a chainsaw. A place where you can run down a drug dealer and steal his money and drugs right in front of police officers as they sit at a busy intersection. But most importantly, it's a place where a made man in the Forelli Mafia can be sent to after a 15-year prison sentence in an attempt to make him disappear from the family business by framing him, but ultimately allowing him to climb the ranks and become the biggest crime boss that city has ever seen. This is Vice City. Vice City takes place in a fictional rendition of Miami, Florida in 1986. That made man that we just mentioned a second ago is Tommy Vercetti, a man just freed from a long stint in the can, and he's sent down to Florida because the Forelli crime family just doesn't know what to do with him. Tommy is based on an amalgamation of different iconic criminals, but the comparison to Tony Montana cannot be unmentioned. Both exiled to Miami, both arrived to the city wearing Hawaiian shirts, both rise to power using violence and fear, building an empire from a large, gaudy mansion after killing their collaborators and taking over their ex-bosses' empires. There are several differences that can poke holes in this comparison, but the inspiration is clearly there. There's an actual mobster whose tale is relatively similar to this story as well. A guy named Joseph Yannuzzi from the Gambino crime family. He was sent to Florida by his boss, and a large sum of money went missing, so hit squads were sent to Florida in an attempt to take him out. Instead of becoming a kingpin in Miami, though, he turned FBI informant, which probably worked out best for him. He was able to leave the life of crime and start writing cookbooks. Anyway, back to Tommy and Vice City. His boss, Sonny Forelli, tells him that he's going to set him up for some business down there, and he gives him some cash to make a drug deal and start making some money. Since this is Miami in the 80s, drugs are booming, but the drug deal goes bad. In the chaos, Tommy makes it out alive, but he loses the drugs and the money, pissing off Sonny and becoming indebted to him and essentially on his own now to get the cash back. But all along, Sonny was the one who set up Tommy, and now Tommy is stuck in a city full of enemies with no help, except the few connections that he makes along the way to climb his way to the top and get revenge on Sonny and every other person who tries to take his power. So that's the brief overview of Vice City. Let's take a step back and talk about how this game was even made.
Shut up, sit down, relax. I'll tell you what we're going to do.
For as expansive and impressive as Vice City is, it may come as a surprise that the game initially started as a mission pack spin-off for GTA 3, when Rockstar North was working on porting the game to the PC. So before GTA 3 was even completed, there were already 3D models being created for this Vice City mission pack. The mission pack was a plan for new weapons, missions, and vehicles, but quickly ideas in the writer's room got out of hand, and it was decided that these ideas were meant for a standalone project. And this is kind of crazy to think about with the turnaround time, though. GTA 3 was released in October of 2001, and Vice City was released in October of 2002. When you think about the time it takes Rockstar to make games these days, it's kind of insane to see their release schedule when they were, in my opinion, in their prime. Even with some models being made at the end of 2001 for the game, Sam Houser said that production for the full standalone game didn't really kick off until 2002, so it was really made in about 9 months. With that short time, it also racked up an impressive budget, being Rockstar's most expensive game to make at the time, costing them $5 million, being announced in May of 2002 at E3, and being on shelves 5 months later. The gaming industry was just a different beast back then. This wasn't just a large reskin of GTA 3 either. This was a proper new entry into Grand Theft Auto's universe. There were tons of new assets added as well as new gameplay features that not only improved quality of life, but made gameplay more open and choice divergent. A trend that GTA games continued to follow since then, becoming true open world sandboxes and less reliant on their linear mission structures. A few key things added to the game to spice things up are first and foremost an in-game map, a much needed addition to the series. Still no waypoint system yet, but in a pinch you can get yourself in the direction of the nearest ammunition, pay and spray, or even the closest save point. Of course, multiple save points being a thing because you can now purchase property all along the map. Finally, a thing to spend your money on other than guns and ammunition. You can buy different houses and apartments across the city, from fancy villas to quite literally a shack on a roof. There will always be a place for Tommy to rest his bones at the end of a long day. In addition to different properties for save points, you can also have the ability to buy properties for business. And in fact, the whole second portion of the game revolves around purchasing different assets and creating a large cash flow for Vercetti Enterprises to take control of the city. Everything from an ice cream company that actually sells drugs to a taxi company, a porn studio, a strip club, and plenty more. And we'll get into all of them later on. More mild than property, but still pretty cool, you can now buy different outfits throughout the game too. Most are given as an outfit or a costume for a mission, but you can also just wear them around if you like. It makes the vigilante missions that much more immersive in my opinion. But you really can't replace the OG outfits on Tommy Vercetti. The Hawaiian shirts and the pearl necklace, I don't think there's a more iconic fit on any other GTA protagonist. Speaking of vigilante minigames, they added a bunch more activities to keep yourself busy in the city. In addition to vigilante, paramedic, firefighter, and taxi that were in GTA 3, you can now also be a pizza boy on a moped. There are a few street races across the city that you can partake in for some cash, fun vehicle excursion type jobs, RC vehicle jobs, shooting range jobs. Hell, you can even rob several different stores in the game now for some easy money and wanted stars. All on top of the usual hidden packages, stunt jumps, and rampages across the city. For a completionist, this game is quite the complete package. But it's not all just fun new things added to the game. There were improvements made to the mechanics and the physics of the game too, most notably shooting and driving. I played this on the PC this go around, so I can't really comment on how much improved the shooting mechanics were.
A little bit.
The icon system was much better than GTA 3. The driving, though, I can go into. Cars are way more responsive to turns and aren't nearly as stiff. Dodging in and out of traffic, speeding around Vice City is some of the most fun that you can have in this game, especially when you have the cinematic camera on. Just zooming through the neon lit streets at night while blasting Iran by a flock of seagulls is just oddly cathartic and nostalgic to me. You can also just jump out of cars now, so if your car is on fire, you don't have to wait to come to a full stop in order to bail out. But for some reason, the main character can't swim still. Tommy Vercetti can't swim and he goes to live in fucking Miami Beach of all places. But perhaps the most noteworthy addition to this game is a voiced protagonist.
Normally I wouldn't busy myself driving around a bunch of drunken Scottish bisexuals. But in your case, I'm making it step.
Like in GTA 3, there are plenty of talented voice actors brought onto the project, and the most iconic one is the one who voiced the main character of the game. Tommy Vercetti, the no-nonsense snowbird, is voiced by the one and only Ray Liotta. May he rest in peace. The actor who specializes in psychopaths with a charming personality, a perfect fit for the role in the game. And while he is the guy in the center of it all, there are plenty of other stars on the roster. Burt Reynolds, William Fichtner, Tom Sizemore, Philip Michael Thomas, Gary Busey, Danny Trejo, Luis Guzman, hell, even Jenna Jameson takes the role of an in-game porn star. It's an incredibly voiced game. The writing has the typical Rockstar charm, and it really feels like everyone gives their all, even though not everyone had the best time doing it. Particularly the biggest names on the lineup, Ray Liotta and Burt Reynolds. Ray Liotta, I feel like, just didn't understand the gravity of the video game industry at this point in time. Games were a growing medium. He just took the job for the money and thought, hey, I'll say fuck a few times in the mic and cash a check. But he soon realized that the scope of the game was actually quite large. There are reports of him being unmotivated during certain sessions. And I'm sure there's tons of monotonous dialogue to go through for all the non-cutscene stuff that Tommy says, but from a few accounts it sounded like he was a bit of a diva on set because he just didn't get the project size. The real problem came when he learned how much the game made. Vice City sold 17 million copies. It made quite the purse.
I have one of the copies still.
$5 million budget that he had. Ray Liotta thought that he was cut short for the role that he played in the game. There are no official numbers out there on what he made, but the voice actor for Nico in GTA 4 reportedly took home $100K for 15 months of work, which I would say is rather low. But if Rockstar paid that for 15 months on a much larger budget game, then I can only imagine what they paid Liotta for 9 months of work on a lower budget. So I can kind of see where Ray Liotta is coming from. But the fact that he only got upset after the fact says that the money was only a problem once he saw how much value that he brought to Rockstar. And this is why we also don't get any cameos from Vercetti in San Andreas or any other titles, because when offered a small role in the game, Ray Liotta probably asked for an insane amount of cash, and Rockstar decided to cut ties, and therefore we lost Tommy Vercetti to the one game.
Mark, the Viltrumites will always be a threat to Earth. But each day we add more allies to end this war forever.
We stick together. That's how we win this. Changing how you shop can feel like a lot.
You okay?
It's different, but you'll love it.
It's like how it's smaller to cut overhead costs.
You're gonna save some money. Differences that save you money. It's an Aldi thing.
Hydroxycut hot deals, only for March. Choose between powerful capsules or convenient drink sticks. Trusted by the...
The other diva on set was Burt Reynolds.
Oh, yeah.
He has a little more star power than Liotta, and reportedly almost got into a fist fight with Dan Houser when he showed up to a recording session one day. Dan Houser wanted to meet Burt as he was a fan of his work, and he thought, hey, I'm using this guy in my project, why not introduce myself? Reynolds apparently got mad at Dan for simply being there, shouting at him for being British and getting in his face, having to get separated by others in the studio. Crazy situation. Burt Reynolds just hates the British, I guess. But other than these two actors, most everyone seemed to have a great time on set. But these two situations were bad enough to cause Rockstar to start taking some steps back from the massive celebrity voices, at least in primary roles, and hire some actual voice actors for parts instead of famous names. As good as the voice
Play Machete, which is pretty cool.
I think the thing that complemented the fantastic Rockstar writing was mainly the setting of the game, Vice City itself. Vice City was originally mentioned in the first Grand Theft Auto as a location, but the team decided to place the sequel here because it was a stark contrast to the serious bleakness of GTA 3's Liberty City. It's still got dark, edgy undertones and plenty of crime.
That's better.
But it feels a little less sinister under the guise of a party town like Miami in the 80s. Sam Houser called it the grooviest era of crime because it didn't even feel like crime. It was totally a topsy-turvy, back-to-front period of time. I think the most important thing this game nailed down for the setting was the music on the radio and in the scenes. They had the most iconic 80s hits in every single genre that you could imagine. For rock, they had Motley Crue, Ozzy Osbourne, Judas Priest, and Iron Maiden. For new wave, they had a flock of seagulls, Nina, Blondie, and Kim Wilde. For pop, they had Toto, Michael Jackson, Hall & Oates, and Rick James. Shit, they even had some 80s hip-hop like Grandmaster Flash, Africa Bambaataa, Curtis Blow, and Run DMC. They of course had a bunch of Latin funk too that I found myself listening to more than the other stations. I couldn't name a single artist for you as I don't really know who's who in that genre, but the wiki says there's Diodato, Mongo Santa Maria, and Tito Puente. Shit slaps. And since this is YouTube, I can't really play any of what I'm talking about, but just trust, the radio really made the city. And it's probably my favorite GTA radio setup ever. It's no surprise that this
GTA 3
in this particular setting has plenty of reference material like movies and TV to draw inspiration from. And Rockstar was not shy with their inspirations. Movies like Scarface and Carlito's Way, as well as shows like Miami Vice, all ooze within Vice City. This game may in fact be the most heavily influenced GTA game out there when you think about it. Almost everything is a reference in some sort of way or another. The organized crime and drug trafficking, stylized cars and pastel clothing, 80s music from pop to new wave and hip hop and R&B, the neon lights and the party life all blend to what you think of when you hear of 80s Miami. Specific references to Miami Vice seem to be the most plentiful. A 3-star wanted level gets you chased by 2 officers in a VCPD cheetah named Cracker and Butts, who strongly resemble Crockett and Tubbs in their 1986 Ferrari Testarossa. One of the main characters, Lance Vance, is voiced by Philip Michael Thomas, the actor who played Tubbs in Miami Vice.
Wow.
His objective in the game reflects the show as well, to avenge the death of his brother who died in a drug deal gone wrong. A screenshot from the show showing a Lamborghini Countach being chased by Crockett's Daytona is shown as a stylized frame during the game's credits. The Cuban and Haitian gang attire is taken from extra in the show's pilot, and even the hidden packages being cocaine smuggled in TV statues is a reference to the show where drugs are smuggled the same way in the city. But it's not just Miami Vice. Scarface plays a big role too. Diaz's mansion, which becomes Vercetti Estate, strongly resembles Tony Montana's mansion, as well as the Malibu Club being nearly identical to the club that Tony frequents in Scarface. The game ends with an assault on the mansion too, which strongly resembles Tony's fights as well. At least Tommy survives his stint after he shows his little friend. And one of the best Easter eggs in the game is finding an apartment with a bathroom full of blood and having a chainsaw in there, calling back to one of the most iconic scenes in the film. But, like any other Rockstar game, there are countless references and nods to pop culture. These examples are some of the more prominent ones, and most like the Miami in the 80s style that the game was truly trying to capture. With that being said, let's touch down at Escobar International Airports and get through not only the main plot lines in this game, but also all the side missions and story content that there is. Needless to say, there will be spoilers ahead.
Tommy Vercetti? Yeah, didn't they never let him out. He kept his head down, helps people forget. People will remember soon enough. When they see him walking down the streets of their neighborhoods, it will be bad for business.
The game opens with Sonny Forelli and company talking about Tommy Vercetti getting released from prison, and how much of a fuss that it would be to see him roaming around as a free man. See, the reason that Tommy was sent into prison in the first place was because he was sent into a meeting by Sonny that turned out to be an ambush by an enemy family in Liberty City. Tommy somehow turned the tables on 11 guys and killed them all. Even though this was an act of self-defense, he still spent 15 years in prison and earned himself the nickname the Harwood Butcher, as the ambush took place in the Harwood district. Unknown to Tommy, that setup 15 years ago was actually orchestrated by his own friend, Sonny Forelli, because Sonny was nervous and envious of Tommy's rise within the family business. Anyway, current day, Sonny is discussing with some associates what he should do with his Harwood Butcher, and the decision is made to send him down to Vice City to expand the business into something that the northern families won't really touch: drugs. Sonny wanted Tommy to go to Vice City and build up his drug business with the full intent of screwing him over in a few months once he has the ball rolling. The Forelli family's contact in Vice City is a lawyer named Ken Rosenberg. So once Tommy and some unnamed cronies land at the airport, he's scooped up by Ken and they head off to do this drug deal that Ken orchestrated with the drug suppliers, 2 brothers that run their own business. At this meetup, the chopper comes in with the 2 brothers and they meet and exchange the goods. But right as the money changes hands, a group of men in black come out and start shooting everyone up. One of the brothers and 2 of Tommy's guys die in the ambush, as well as the drugs and the cash being left on the ground. Tommy and Ken make their escape in Ken's car, and the other brother flies off in the helicopter. A terrible start for Tommy Vercetti in Vice City. There's no surprise here that Sonny Forelli is the one that set this ambush up, as it's business as usual for him against Tommy. Whether or not he acted alone or in cahoots with some other big characters in Vice City, like Diaz, is unknown. But when Tommy heads back to his hotel and calls Sonny to tell him, we as the audience are shown Sonny sitting at the same table as before, although this time it's stacked with cash and cocaine, likely what was recovered in this ambush. Sonny acts surprised and pissed off at Tommy, screaming at him that he lost his money. But Tommy vows to get Sonny the money, the drugs, and the dicks of all those responsible. So now, with nothing to his name and just the schmuck of a lawyer to help him, Tommy must climb his way to the top.
You better not be screwing me, Tommy, because you know I'm not a man to be screwed with.
Wait, Scotty. You have my personal assurance that I'm going to get you your money back and the drugs, and I'm going to mail you the dicks of those responsible.
Hey, I already know that. I'll be in touch.
The next day, Tommy meets with Ken at his office, and it's no surprise that he is beyond stressed about the incident. Ken tells Tommy about Colonel Juan Garcia Cortez, a retired colonel from some Central American country who throws those fancy yacht parties in Vice City, and he is the guy who knows everyone. He's the one that helped Rosenberg set up this drug deal for Sonny and Tommy in the first place. So Tommy's first step is to make a visit to one of Cortez's yacht parties and see what he knows. Cortez seems friendly enough, but no smart enemy is going to make himself known in the world of GTA. He tells Tommy that he's also looking into this hostile takeover, as it doesn't look good on him either, as he plays a part in setting it up. But for now, he has no information. At the party, though, Tommy also meets Cortez's daughter, Mercedes, who gives him the rundown of all the famous faces on the boat. The Congressman Alex Shrub hugging up on the adult film star Candy Sucks and some other guy who's not named. Football player B.J. Smith chatting with real estate tycoon Avery Carrington and his apprentice, Donald Love. Lead singer of the band Love Fist, Jez Torrance, chatting up some groupies, and Cortez's right-hand man, Gonzalez, talking with Pastor Richards and porn director Steve Scott. After all the brief mentions, a loud man walks on the boat and meets with the colonel. Mercedes tells Tommy that this is the city's top cocaine dealer named Ricardo.
Okay, guys, we're gonna get ready to go to this Midget Deal Circus in a minute. We're gonna react to the Midget Deal Circus in a little bit. So in a little bit, we're gonna get off this and reset.
And you get a little look into Mercedes' true rebellious nature against her rich and powerful father.
So I'm gonna cut you guys off.